want to tell you is that, so Rabbi Zev Ballen passed away, and he was the founder of an Emunah therapy program, which was a 4-year certification program for coaches and therapists through the Breslov group with Rabbi Arsh's Chut Shel Chesed, and he was a really amazing person. He created this kosherized therapy training program to integrate Emunah and bitachon and trust and faith into successful coaching and counseling. He created a 4-year program. The first year was working with individuals, the second year couples and families, the third year communities, and the fourth year becoming like a trainer teacher of it. Yeah. So I had the merit of learning with him almost every week for 2 years, one-on-one, and got the first 2 certification levels with him. And I can't tell you how much I learned to help, because he integrated, he did such really groundbreaking work on integrating deep Jewish understanding of faith and that whole process that you're working on, and with psychology. Now, how did he do that? He was Rabbi Arsh's direct student and Rabbi Brody's student indirectly for, 10, 15 years. And he was a psychodynamic analyst in downtown New York City for the original part of his career. He was driven to learn about therapies. He tried out, he explained to me everything. Gestalt, screaming into pillows, cognitive, psychodynamic. He was searching in psychology for the truth. And he ended up through that journey realizing that the Torah and God, that was the truth. And then he became a deep, observant person with, and started studying Jewish spirituality in depth, and continued his practice in Israel, seeing patients, privately. And then he became the liaison. Anytime they had someone with a Emunah and yeshiva training who had an issue, he was the guy that they would go to and advise, hey, what do we recommend to this guy and that guy? And then he started seeing all these people, and then he developed the program. And one thing I'll stop is that when I first met with him the first day, I was recalling that, the 3 levels of faith that Rabbi Arsh teaches, that Kach Hashem said, this is what God wants.
Yeah.
2, Gamzu Latova, everything God does is good and for the good. He's got a very good, loving agenda going on here. And 3, it's all part of a bigger purpose for the world and for us. It has messages, it has lessons, it has growth, and we can come to understand that over time. Those 3 levels are very high levels, all described, exquisitely in the Garden of Emunah and other books by Rabbi Arsh. But I remember the first day, and he said, Daniel, we're going to go over all that, and we're going to discuss how to use that in therapy, when and how and where and what. But level 1 Emunah is actually level 1,000. And we need to learn a lot about in the beginning, what is level 100, 200, 300, 400, 500? Because as simple as it sounds, it's super high level. To believe that everything is, all the events, everything is part of God's divine providence. This is what he wants. Whatever's happening today, this is what he wants. And so that's a high level. And so we had worked in the beginning on learning about other of those rungs, which are very related, but they're different. And I'm grateful for all the time and tutelage, I guess, and learning from him. And now that he's left the world, I'm still in denial, actually. It's not real to me yet. But so that's why I'm not torn up yet, because I guess I'm avoiding. I hate to, I try to avoid my feelings. That's one thing I learned from being a therapist. It's really good to avoid your feelings. No, I'm just kidding. So, I would like to. It inspires me to maybe try to continue somehow sharing and spreading a lot of the way he can teach Emunah, that could come from Rabbi Arsh and Rabbi Nachman, but reach people who need it in a different way in his merit, in his name, and we can have like an Aliyah Neshama. So I've been thinking about that. I made a SoundCloud channel, Matt and I'm going to put up 12 guided meditations by him, the recordings that I have, and I'll spread that to you and other people. And then I'll look through like my 100-page like workbook, whatever, and think about how I can share that in his name and put some stuff out there. So that's kind of where it's at.